Ryze Tello is here, and in today's video we'll see how it does and what you can expect from this tiny quadcopter. First off, let's start off by stating the obvious. This is a $99 toy drone which comes after a collaboration between Ryze, Intel and DJI, so you can't really expect to see the same performance as the bigger quadcopters that DJI is known for. However, because of the fact that Intel and DJI have helped developing this drone, it actually has a few tricks up its sleeve which make it a very interesting drone to review, to say the least. The first thing you'll notice right after unboxing this drone is that it's really super tiny. The main body of the drone is as big as a matchbox and the propellers are the size of a toothpick. However, because the drone comes with pre-installed prop guards, it actually doesn't seem that much smaller than the DJI Spark, for example. But take those off and you'll immediately see how small the drone really is. The drone itself has brushed motors and weighs 80 grams with the battery installed and the prop guards, so there is no need to register it if you're flying it in the USA. On the front of the drone you can see the camera, which is capable of taking both photos and videos in 5 megapixels or 720p respectively. You can also use the built-in image stabilization, which is digital and not mechanical. So there is no gimbal and you can't tilt the camera up or down, but I have to say the stabilization is quite good for a drone under $100. I'll get to more details about the camera later in this review. On the back of the drone there is the battery tray which holds the battery, which gives you a flight time of about 13 minutes, but during my tests I've had a real flight time of about 11 minutes, which is still a good result for a drone of this size. It's almost as good as the DJI Spark, which holds a much bigger battery. On the bottom of the drone you can see the two visual positioning sensors which help the drone stay stable in the air and maintain its altitude. This is probably one of my favorite features of this drone, as it's surprisingly stable when flying indoors and it hovers in place just as good as the DJI drones which use GPS. So that's definitely a great feature of the drone, and none of the other toy drones that I've tested until now have been that stable. Finally, on the right side of the drone there is the power button for turning it on and off, and on the left side there is the micro SD port for charging. Surprisingly, you don't get a charging cable in the box, so make sure you have one around when you decide to charge the drone. The Ryze Tello is made both for indoor and outdoor flying, but because of its small size you can't really expect it to be very durable in any winds. For the purpose of protecting the drone, I'll be flying it indoors today, as the current wind outside will definitely be too strong for it to handle. This drone uses Wi-Fi to connect to your smartphone and doesn't have an SD card slot, so it saves all of your photos and videos straight to your phone. It uses the Tello app, which is quite well made, and I particularly like the help menu, which is quite straightforward and shows you how exactly you can connect to your Tello. To do that, you simply need to power on the drone and connect to its Wi-Fi network, then start the app. Once you're in the app, you have plenty of different settings to choose. You can set the flight speed to slow or fast, and the difference is quite significant. So here I'm flying in slow speed mode. You can see the speed on top of my screen shows just over 2 meters per second. And next I switch to fast mode, where there's a lot of difference. And as you can see, the speed is just over 6 meters per second and increases as we go. So that's quite a huge difference if you ask me. You can even set up VR if you have a headset and you're into that. So like I mentioned earlier, by default you use your smartphone to control the Tello. You can, however, use an external Bluetooth controller if you prefer to fly it with a controller. But you have to buy it yourself, as it doesn't come as standard. That being said, I found the smartphone controls surprisingly smooth and quick, so I don't plan to invest in a controller for now. I've actually had good impressions of flying it with just my phone. From the next menu, you can change the Wi-Fi network and set up a password. By default, the Wi-Fi network is open, so you don't really need to enter any passwords. If you tap on more, you'll see a whole new menu that pops up. You can enter the beginner guide, which explains all the features and buttons in the app, as well as all of the other flight modes. It's really quite useful and handy. You can also switch the measurement system between metric and imperial, set the photo quality to normal or high. I suggest you to set it to high, it makes a difference. You can also change the low battery warning percentage, and if you're flying indoors, I suggest you to set it to 10% so you can have more flight time to enjoy, and once you hear the beep for low battery, you can get ready to land. Finally, you have your stick modes. I keep mine to mode 2 as that's what I'm used to. You have your exposure value and your bitrate settings. For now, I will keep those at auto. In the second tab of the settings, you can see the status of your sensors and the current version of the software. This is also where you can calibrate the sensors and update your latest firmware, which I suggest you do first thing before flying, as Ryze have been pushing out updates to clear some minor bugs. So if you want to avoid any problems, I suggest to always update to the latest firmware. Now let's jump to the flight modes and what you can expect from them. You can access them by tapping on the drone icon in the top left corner of the app. We have 6 different flight modes, so let's see what each of them has to offer. First off, we have 8D flips. This mode allows you to slide on your screen in order to flip the drone in 8 different directions. I really like the flips and I think they're cool, especially if you have never flown a drone that can flip. I also really like how stable the drone is right after finishing every flip, so one more major plus for having those VPS sensors on the bottom of the drone. Next, we have bounce mode, which I don't really see the purpose for. When activated, the drone will automatically fly up and down within around 1 meter of height, and it will continuously bounce like this. The next flight mode is called throw and go, which allows you to of course throw the drone in the air and it will start hovering in place waiting for your next command. I really like this feature and it's very easy to use. Next up, we have what Ryze describes as easy shots. Those are the same thing as the quick shots from the DJI drones. Basically, automated flight sequences which help you capture footage automatically. So let's start with up and away. This mode records a short video while flying upwards and backwards, kinda like the droney quick shot from the Spark and the Mavic Air. The next flight mode is the 360, which again records a short video while spinning 360 degrees in place. It's a cool mode to show off your location or maybe the people around you if you're in a family gathering, for example. And the final flight mode is called Circle. It records a short video while flying in a circle. So those are the easy shots and basically all the flight modes of the Ryze Tello. And personally, I'm not a huge fan except for the flips. I think the flips are amazing and I will be using them a lot. But as for the others, I prefer to fly my drone manually and record by myself. But if you're a beginner and you want to explore the different settings and the flight modes that the Ryze Tello has to offer, then it's a great alternative. Finally, I want to talk about what I think is the best thing about this drone and what I also think most people are not that familiar when it comes to the Ryze Tello, and that is the fact that this drone is completely programmable. So similarly to the opening of the Olympic Games where we saw hundreds of drones doing automated sequences and creating a light show, the Ryze Tello can also be programmed to follow a set of commands via a very simple and easy to use software. You can use a free software for your PC or Mac called Scratch, or also a free iOS app called Drone Blocks. They both allow you to build a set of commands which will be automatically executed by the drone when you start the sequence. So let me demonstrate. I have a list of commands that will be executed when I press the start button in the Scratch software, and there are tons of features which you can play with. Similarly, if I want to use my phone, it's just as easy, if not even easier. I simply need to build the blocks of commands which I want the drone to perform. I hit start and it will automatically start performing them and land afterwards. You can even see the final code that the app is going to run when you click start, which I quite like. This really opens up a whole new world, and it's especially helpful for people to understand how programming works in a simple and fun way. So that's definitely something that you can use together with your child, for example, and have some great experience together. So all of these features are available in the Ryze Tello, and like I mentioned, the drone is priced at $99. I will leave it linked in the description if you want to check it out. In my opinion, all of these features make the Ryze Tello the go-to drone when it comes to toy drones, regardless if you're buying it for yourself as your first ever drone or for your child if you want to hook him or her to the hobby. It's a great product and something that I think will change the overall drone scene when it comes to affordable toy grade drones. Again, I have a couple of toy drones that are all around the $100 mark, but they have nothing on the Tello when it comes to stability, smoothness and features. That being said, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please let me know about your opinion on the Tello in the comments below. Drop a like on this video and subscribe to my channel for more drone videos. This is Mike from Drone Supremacy and I'll catch you in my next video, guys. Take it easy.